Can I get that? Can I get that cup, buddy? What it do, Cowboys fans? Go get Gabe. Go give it to Gabe. Go tell Gabe give you some juice. What it do, y'all? Um, man, I'm gonna let a few people get in here. What a game. Um, ah, you know, it's one of them things where all game I'm watching and I'm just saying to myself, Dallas is playing sloppy football. It started with the turnover. Um, the Turpin turnover started. Um, the Turpin turnover started the snowball effect, and you just couldn't get out of your own way. Then you're in bad field position. I can't remember a game where Dallas has just had amazing field position all game. So you ended up with bad field position at times. And then sure enough, things just start to snowball. Things just start to go crazy. Um, Picks, uh, line, Terrence still goes down, and we got to talk about all that. But a win is a win is a win. Um, I want to talk about a few things that I've noticed. I love Kellen Moore, and I think that Kellen Moore and I've been consistent that he's had a really good year, right? I think he has. We're not gonna do that. The real Jay Prue and say that he's awful. I don't think that Kellen Moore is awful. I don't think that's fair to Kellen Moore. But what I do think is that there are times that Kellen gets in his own way. The way that CeeDee Lamb has been playing, there's no way that you put him on ice. And he's such a good athlete and a good weapon that if teams are bracketing him or if they're doing certain things to take him out the game, what you do is, you get him the ball right now. Get him the ball in space, quick game, screens, smoke screens, whatever you have to do to get him the ball and let him be a playmaker early. But don't keep running them on deep overs. I'm gonna have to watch the all 22, but don't keep running them on deep overs. And they were sitting in that zone. Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith's a good coach, man, especially defensively. So he kind of knows how to take away what you want to do best. So Kellen has to figure out that part of it. I thought the run game design looked bad today. It was like a lot of weak runs. So they would overload one side and then go weak, which is a tendency that Dallas has had all year. But again, Lovie Smith is a good coach. So even though the Texans aren't, a great team record wise, Lovie Smith can pick up on tendencies. He's not a bad coach. He's been around the league for a long time. Let me turn this TV down, y'all. Give me 1 second. Y'all give me your thoughts in the chat box. Give me 1 second. Um, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. plenty of blame to go around. Um, I thought one of the more interesting things too was the fact that that Dallas, you know, wasn't really prepared defensively. Like we'll talk about offense, right? But weren't they weren't prepared defensively either. Um, One thing that I didn't like was we just have not figured it running quarterbacks out, and the Texans threw kind of a monkey wrench in there. Um, um, definitely threw a monkey wrench in there, but to me, with going with Jeff Driscoll and so when the Texans went with Jeff Driscoll and I wanted to say Kyle Trask, I think they both went to Florida, but with going with both of those guys, with Driscoll, who I don't even know the other quarterback's name. Who was the other quarterback we played today? It was that bad. But once again, guys are pulling up, making plays. You know, it's to me, yeah, Davis Mills, goofy looking dude, Davis Mills. To me, it was this was a trap game. I think we had thought that other games would be trap games. I think that this played out how a trap game, air quotes, plays out. You'll never be mad at a win in the NFL because it's easy for us as fans to get up here and to say what we got to say and to, you know, it's easy. It's easy for us as fans and as supporters of the game to get in the chat box or on Twitter and say, well, they should have just. I'm gonna tell you right now, Jalen Petrie was probably the best player on the field today. Jalen Petrie, who I loved, by the way, from Baylor. That dude is a player, man. Petrie is nice, dog. Flat out stud. Like, flat out stud. And, to me, what ended up happening was one thing after another. One thing after another. I also thought that there were times like, did Dallas get the win? Yes, but late in that game, like to begin that drive, I would have liked to see Tony Pollard on the field. But we didn't. That wasn't the case. He wasn't out there. And the juice, thank God. So the throw that Dak made on the last drive, the throw that Dak made to Dalton Schultz, he was putting the ball on the money to Schultz all game. Even the throw, I'll be honest with you, even the throw that Schultz dropped was a dot. So Dak played decent football. The one interception, I feel like his arm got hit on that one. And like I said, Dak's at that point where I don't know why, but it's a goofy interception a game with him. And that's just, what it's going to be. But, my biggest issue with this game was, yes, I did see Israel McQuarrie, and he had that pick late. I think my biggest issue with this game was that CeeDee Lamb just disappeared. And I think that those type of things can't happen. Yes, the drive, the throw to Noah Brown was awesome as well. The corner route was dope. Great throw. You can't have those things happen where where CeeDee Lamb is just non-existent. And it's not because of anything they're doing. It's because of the scheme. I know that I'm going to go back and watch the All-22, and I know that I'm going to see that CeeDee Lamb just didn't have enough targets or enough looks, and that's a problem. Yeah, And Schultz did have two to three drops. You're right, Jim. Excuse me if I'm a little sluggish. Y'all. I just got back in town from nationals. My football team went to nationals. We had a great time. We went 2-1. Learned a lot. It was awesome. So, Dallas, get ready to hear all week that you're not as good as this. You're not as good as that. You struggle with the Texans. The Texans gave you a scare, but there were some bright sides. And off the top of my head, one that I could think of was Leighton Vander Esch played out of sight. Like, outside of like one really big run, we did a great job against Leighton Vander Esch. Against Damian Pierce. Another thing is we've seen that you can, we've seen that this Dallas team can. You don't want to judge it against the Texans, but it's cool to see how you should have lost this game. Like, let's just be honest. You got outplayed pretty much all game. You should have lost this game. And you won. But I think that it's still good to know that Dak has the ability when we get in those games, because the Cowboys weren't focused. No pass rush. Again, you look at how we've played against quarterbacks that are athletic this year, and it hasn't been good. It hasn't been good. I thought that DeMarcus Lawrence and LVE played really well on defense. Dono had his moments, the big strip, but I thought that those two played well. Kelvin Joseph still some good, some goofy. Like, that's what it's going to be. And there are going to be times where people are going to say, wow, I miss Anthony Brown. I think that you're going to miss Anthony Brown. I think that Anthony Brown was the glue of that secondary. And there were times today where you're like, man, secondary doesn't look the same. You see Diggs trying to jump a slant or a quick route. Forget what it was. Maybe it was a quick outbreaker. He doesn't get home. It's a big game. Armani Rogers, he looked like a stud today. So to me, it's one of those things that Dallas was not supposed to win this game. Wasn't supposed to win this game. Was not supposed to win this game. But Dallas won this game. I thought it was really cool that Jason Peters was able to kick out to right tackle, which, by the way, is something that Dallas may have to do. Because Josh Ball had a few good reps, and I tweeted, I said, oh, okay, Josh Ball, looks like he's playing football. Then out of nowhere, I hope that so Kenneth Lee says, I hope that Diggs' hand is okay. I think that Diggs' hand is okay. I think that on that last play of the game, when you saw him go up for that interception with McQuamu, he wanted that pick. You can see that he did. The person that I'm actually kind of worried about is 11. And I don't know if that was a Dan Quinn scheme thing. I don't know if they're letting Micah kind of choose his battles. But one of the things that I noticed was Laramie Tunsil did a number on Micah Parsons today. Really, nobody on our D-line could get home, and that's worrisome. I don't know how good this Texans O-line is. You guys tell me. But we could not get home against that. We couldn't get home against that Texans O-line. And against a a quarterback in Davis Mills, who's a statue. He's a Statue of Liberty. You couldn't get home against that. That's worrisome. Because Philly's offensive line is better than the Texans. I'm pretty sure about that. And then they have a better quarterback than the Texans. And that's who you're kind of chasing. Now, again, all this being said, all the complaining that you're going to hear this week, the Cowboys won the game. They're 10-3. I don't care what nobody else says. It's a lot of teams out here that want to be 10-3. A lot. So, what do? You get back in the lab and you figure out what needs to be cleaned up. Because I am a big believer and a firm believer that, any game, any team, you should be looking at what we need to get better at. What can we clean up as a unit? And I think that's what Dallas has to do. Coaching. Let's talk about the coaching. One issue that I have with Kellen Moore is the week to week inconsistency with using your stud. Your stud being CeeDee Lamb. Now, you didn't get a few bounces go your way, but CeeDee Lamb, it's clear what type of player he is. He needs the ball early. Needs the ball early, right? Has to have it. CD has to have the ball early to get going. Has to. CD's not the same person if he doesn't, y'all. Not the same person, y'all. Just not the same player. And I don't think it's what anybody else is doing. I just think that he just gets bored. So I want Kellen to figure that part of it out. I thought that Ford played really good down the stretch. I thought he extended plays well with his feet. I thought that outside of the interception, he did a good job of staying composed. He didn't go away from the middle of the field. I think that any quarterback and every quarterback has to understand this. As the game goes on, the way the defenses are structured with these two high shells and how they want to press certain things, you have to have a quarterback that's not afraid to attack the middle of the field. I thought that deep comeback to Michael Gallup was a dope concept. I thought that the way that they used Schultz at the end was dope. And I think that, even though Schultz had a really inconsistent game, I thought that those are the type of things that you have to do to continue to stress teams out. I'm not worried about this run game. I'm not. I think that you will be able to run the ball. I didn't know that the Texans front was that good. They're pretty sneaky, right? So I think that you will be able to run the ball moving forward here. This Jacksonville game is going to be sneaky, and I think that the Cowboys will be more up for that game, right? But the biggest thing for me will be, how does Kellen Moore keep CeeDee Lamb involved? The first thing that I said, if you guys go watch my video, he's a right now player. He's a right now guy. So as good of a route runner as he is, and as he's gotten better, and I think that he will continue to get better, it's not his strength. His strength is letting him be a freak athlete. That's his strength. That's what he does well. And I think that that's what Kellen Moore needs to figure out. I think that Mike McCarthy needs to help Kellen Moore figure this out. The good thing is this. You're still at let's see, how many games do we have left, chat box? Because I don't want to overreact to this. I don't want to underreact. I just want to react. How many games do we have left, chat box? Let's look at it. And then let's talk about, because I don't think that you want to peak too soon, right? Let's see, Dallas Cowboys schedule. I'm looking at two playoff teams play right now, in the Bucks and the Niners, and two teams that you may have to see. All right, so we have Jacksonville, and then we have the big game versus Philly, right? And then the Titans, and then I think we close out with Washington. So you have 4 games left. There is a such thing as you don't want to peak too soon. You don't want to be playing your best ball too soon. You want to peak at the right time. I can't tell you how many Cowboys teams have been 13-3 or, whatever, super high, get in the playoffs, and then boom, lose first round. You don't want to peak too soon. You want to play your best ball at the right time. The biggest thing is that I think that the Cowboys have to keep in mind I just think that I'm just starting to pray for health, right? And I think that the move would definitely need to be, and I'm hoping that the move will be um keeping. I gotta see. I now I'm like, dang, I'm praying for Tyron Smith to get back, right? I'm praying for it. But you may have to put Jason Peters at right tackle if Turnstile. The fact that he didn't come back in the game, I don't think is good, and I'm already preparing myself for bad news. And I'm gonna pray for different. But the way he got bent up, I don't know, y'all. I don't. And so it'll be interesting, man. But I don't think that you want to be peaking right now. You know, I don't. Um, Chat box, give me some questions. Let me go. Let me go look at. Let me go see what my son. My son's upstairs running around. He's acting crazy. I'm trying to get him to go to sleep. He's been on the plane all day. This kid's been up, and he's still running around. What's wrong with this kid? Chat box, give me some questions. Let's end off with some questions. We'll listen to what the players have to say, and then we'll come back tomorrow and really talk about it. Chat box, give me some questions. I'll be right back. My commercial break. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this. All right, so got my son here. He's running like a wild man. Is Kelvin Joseph? This is a good one, Mark Kroc. Is Kelvin Joseph going to be good enough? What do you think, Miko? Will Kelvin Joseph be good enough? That look says no. Kelvin Joseph won't be good enough. So to me, the problem with Kelvin Joseph is I just think that he hasn't gotten enough quality reps against good competition. And so because he hasn't gotten those reps, what's going on? Like he's learning on the fly. And even like the lesser receivers in the league can make you look silly, right? So it's like I tweeted something. I said, dang, Kelvin, like, what are you doing? It's you just can't catch a break. But then he did catch a break and he did have a pass breakup today. So that's a start. Like, that's a start that we have to say, good job, Kelvin. Let's build there. Be careful. So I think that we can't say that, J Dog, because Cheetah Bay is having a good season, actually a really sneaky good season, and he's given Cincinnati some good years. Um, so I do like that part of it. Um, so Kelvin Joseph is still out for the season. That I don't know, and I would never. I'm praying that he's not. Um, so I'm praying that Turnstile is not out for the year. Um, I'm absolutely praying that he's not. The Peters move saved us. Yes, it did. The Peters move absolutely saved us. Did you see much from James? Yes. You know, that's a good question, King Marquis. You couldn't really evaluate James Washington today. Um, you know, he got we threw one slant, he got blasted. And look, Lovie Smith is a great defensive coach, and the Texans wanted to win this game. They played tough. They came out and got us. I couldn't evaluate James Washington because he only got really one rep that I saw. So still too early. Definitely. Yep, too early. Speaking for someone who lives in H-Town, I want to read this comment right here. Speaking for someone who has lived in H-Town for 40 plus years, the Texans will always play Dallas hard. I agree. Yep, I agree with that. Little crosstown rivalry. They're going to take it serious, and it's clear that the Cowboys did not take this game serious, and they play like it. You won the game, but they just didn't take this game serious, and that's why like the 40-point wins are cool. These are cool, but I'm not gonna overreact to any of them, and that's just the facts. And this is a good question. Bland has had less reps. I've said I like Bland on the edge, but this team they didn't want they didn't use the slot a lot today, and so Bland's off the field. But I do like Bland. I just like Bland in the game. I don't care where he's at. He just is a tackler. He's physical. Like I just like Bland in the game. That's me. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I could. Like I said, the fact that Steele didn't come back in the game kind of tells me all I need to know. I do think that the injury is serious, and you know, I'm just praying that it's not super serious, but I do think it's serious. So, hopefully, it's not. He's not out for the year, but I'm preparing myself for it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am preparing myself for it. Um, you know, Tony and Zeke, especially on that first drive, it looked really, really good. And then, you know, I don't know, man. It's the game really snowballed after the Turpin punt. Muff. It did. The game snowballed after the Turpin punt. It did. I agree with this, King Marquise. What about the fourth quarter? What about the fourth? Yeah, and listen. I think that Zeke still gives you that part of it, but for the drive, for me, um, all I wanted was, just Tony. I just wanted more juice in there, right? That's me personally. But we got the win, and that's a fact. So. That is what we do know. We do know that Dallas got a win today. And I'm gonna leave you guys with this. I don't overreact to the 40-point games. I'm not gonna overreact to the 1-point games. You're 10-3, and I'm gonna leave it there. And it's just that simple. You're 10-3, and I'm going to leave it there. And so we won ugly. Philly did struggle with Houston. You're right about that. Philly, it wasn't this dramatic, but they had parts in that game where they struggled with Houston. I watched that game. So sloppy win or not, a win is a win, and you're 10-3. So I'm gonna go to sleep at night feeling good. We got to get ready for Jacksonville, and thank God that this game happened because Jacksonville will not sneak up on you. So Foots is out. I will talk to you guys later. As always, thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. I was able to get my thoughts out. I'm gonna go lay down. I've been traveling all day. Hey, yo, listen, let me tell you something. Orlando Airport is a madhouse. Jeez, that is so random. But Florida, y'all gotta figure out your airport system. It sucks. Man, TSA was 45 minutes. Sheesh. All right, y'all. Foots. Peace. I'll be coming with film. I'll be coming with my thoughts on the Jacksonville game. Probably go live later this week. Gonna regroup, rewatch the film. Yeah. All right, y'all. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy your family. Love on somebody. Peace.